Hello, welcome back to Jamaica Folklore Animated. It was September 1st, 1957, a quiet Sunday evening that would soon become one of the darkest nights in Jamaica's history. The island's heart beat with joy that day. Laughter echoed in the streets, hymns filled the air, and the faithful gathered to celebrate. None could have imagined that by nightfall, those same voices of praise would be silenced by tragedy. This is the story of the Kendal Crash, a moment that changed a nation forever.
The sun had barely risen when hundreds of church members from the St. Anne's Roman Catholic Church in Kingston boarded the train. They were dressed in their Sunday best, women in colorful hats, men in crisp suits, children clutching small Bibles and handkerchiefs. They were on their way to Montego Bay for a day of fellowship and thanksgiving. The air was filled with laughter, gospel singing, and the rhythmic sound of the train wheels clacking against the tracks. For many, this was their first trip outside the city, a break from the everyday struggles of life. Vendors shouted joyfully on the platforms, selling snacks and drinks to the travelers. It was a day of hope and celebration. No one knew that some of them were boarding their final train. As the evening came, the celebration was over. The sun dipped low, painting the Jamaican hills in gold and crimson. The same train that had carried joy that morning now carried weary but happy passengers home. Inside the crowded coaches, some sang softly, others rested, leaning on each other's shoulders. The air was humid but peaceful until the train approached Kendall, Manchester. The time was just after 11 p.m. The lights inside the coaches flickered. A few passengers noticed the speed increasing. A nervous mother whispered, "The train moved too fast, man." Moments later, chaos. The brakes failed. The train roared down the steep incline like an untamed beast, wheels screeching against the rails. Then came the sound that would haunt survivors forever. Metal tearing, wood splintering, and cries piercing the night. One by one, the coaches derailed. Bodies were thrown violently, windows shattered, and screams filled the darkness. The ninth coach, a packed wooden carriage, flipped completely, crushing those inside. The night sky lit up with sparks as the train ground to a halt in twisted silence. In the aftermath, only groans and the crackle of broken glass could be heard. Villagers nearby, awakened by the deafening noise, rushed to the scene with lanterns and torches. What they found was unspeakable. A field of wreckage, shattered carriages, and lifeless bodies scattered along the track. They worked through the night, pulling survivors from the tangled debris. Many were unrecognizable. Parents screamed for their children, husbands called out for their wives. By dawn, the full weight of the disaster began to sink in. Over 170 people were dead and more than 700 injured, making it one of the worst railway disasters in the world at that time. Hospitals overflowed, churches filled with mourners. The island fell silent. In the days that followed, Jamaica was united in grief. Funerals were held across the island. The Prime Minister at the time, Norman Manley, declared a national day of mourning. The tragedy touched every home, every heart. Newspapers carried the heartbreaking headlines, "Mass death on the rails. The Kendall disaster shocks the nation." The government launched an inquiry, discovering that the train's brakes had been tampered with and that the train was overloaded far beyond its capacity. It was a preventable tragedy, one born from human error and negligence. But beyond the investigations and reports, there were stories, personal stories, of faith, survival, and loss. One survivor, Miss Ethel Brown, later recalled, "I was singing a hymn when the train started to sway. I don't know how I lived. When I opened my eyes, the woman beside me was gone." Another man said, "I crawled out and saw a mother holding her child who would never wake again. I will never forget that night." These voices became the living memory of Kendall, reminders of the fragility of life and the need to cherish every moment. Today, the Kendal Crash remains etched in Jamaica's memory. The site stands as a quiet reminder of that fateful night, a place where prayers were replaced by cries and joy by sorrow. But from the ashes of grief came unity. Churches, communities, and strangers came together to support one another. The tragedy sparked new safety reforms and changed how Jamaica viewed railway travel forever. In every annual remembrance, candles are lit and hymns are sung. The same hymns once sung on that train, in honor of those who never made it home. The Kendal crash was more than an accident. It was a wound that scarred Jamaica's soul, a reminder that even in our moments of joy, life can change in the blink of an eye. Yet amid the tears, hope survived. Because in every story of loss, there's also the whisper of resilience, a spirit that says, we will never forget, but we will rise again. Thank you for watching. Until next time, walk good.